Attention to all Lexbuzz viewers. The program will begin shortly. I repeat, attention to all Lexbuzz viewers. The program will begin shortly. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and a very good evening I bid to our head of Department of Legal Studies, my fellow lecturers, my panelists of tonight, and not to forget our lovely audience consisting of high school students from all schools all across Malaysia. First and foremost, I would like to thank everyone for allocating time to attend tonight's program.
Next, let us invite Brother Ku Muhammad Hafiz for the recitation of Dua. The floor is yours.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Let us start with Al-Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Ya Allah, Ya Fa'al lima yurid. O Allah, we express our gratitude to you for allowing us to attend this event on this auspicious day. O Allah, we ask you for the safety of our religion and the welfare of our body. O Allah, Lord of the implementing authority, make the days that we have gone through, starting with your mercy, continue with your blessing and righteous guidance, ended with the forgiveness. Make the days that we have gone through, spent in your obedience, adorn us with the adornment of the righteous, and clothe us with the ornament of the pious in spreading good behavior, lowering the wing of humility, beauty of conduct, advancing towards excellence, avoiding condemnation, being gracious to the undeserving, speaking truth through bitter. Ya Allah, Ya Muhaimin, Ya Aziz, Ya Jabbar, Ya Allah, Ya Farij al-Ham, Ya Kashif al-Gham, Ya Mali Abdihi, Yaghfir wa Yarham. O Allah, show us guidance and adjust our path and ways to achieve happiness and glory. Let us listen to people who like the good things. Let us avoid doing the bad and evil things. O Allah, bless our life in this gathering and prevent us from harm and unfortunate events. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Amin Amin Ya Rabbal Alamin. Thank you, Brother Ku Muhammad Hafiz, for the lovely recitation. It is hoped that our program will always be in his blessings.
Now we will be using medium bahasa Melayu. Alhamdulillah, bertemu kita pada malam yang penuh barakah ini bersamaan tarikh 5 Jun 2022. Oleh itu, marilah kita bersama-sama memanjat syukur kehadrat Ilahi kerana atas izin serta limpah rahmatnya, kita diberi kesempatan waktu untuk berhimpun bagi memeriahkan lagi majlis ilmu kita pada malam ini. Untuk pengetahuan para hadirin, majlis ini dianjurkan oleh MILEX, Law Student Society dari Pusat Asasi UIAM Kampus Gambang yang bertujuan untuk memberikan hadirin hadirat sekalian pendedahan awal dan juga panelis kita akan berkongsi pengalaman mereka sebagai para pelajar undang-undang. Jadi marilah kita bersama-sama berkupas bersama panelis kita pada malam ini.
Baiklah, tanpa membuang masa lagi, mari kita perkenalkan panelis-panelis kita pada malam ini. Bak kata orang, tak kenal maka tak cinta. Kita mulakan dengan saudari Hashri bin Effendi. Untuk pengetahuan anda semua, saudari Hashri merupakan Vice President Kelab Debat Orators. Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, Orators. Kelab ini merupakan kelab yang paling famous dekat UIA. Jadi, Brother Hashri, sila perkenalkan diri anda.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So before I start, I would just like to inform everyone that I will be speaking in both Malay and English. So just bear with me. So my name is Muhammad Hashri bin Effendi. I graduated from Malay College Kuala Kangsar Perak, and I pursue in playing rugby as well as I participate in debate. And Alhamdulillah, I managed to secure a place for myself in the Dean's List for both semesters, and inshallah for this semester as well. So apart when I'm free, I just spend time with my family and then maybe do some necessary activities as well. Yep, I guess that's it. Thank you.
Sounds great, Brother Hashri. Thank you. Jadi, panelis kita yang seterusnya, Saudara Akmal Abdullah bin Muzaf. Untuk pengetahuan anda semua, Brother Akmal merupakan Presiden MILEX kita sendiri. Tak hebat tak tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, adik-adik sekalian semua? Siapa yang nak jadi macam Brother Akmal ni, kenalah tengok macam mana dia cakap, macam mana dia berbahas nanti. Jadi, tunggu apa lagi Brother Akmal? Sila perkenalkan diri anda.
Baiklah, terima kasih kepada saudari moderator kita, Sister Farah. Oh, dia melambung muji-muji pada malam ni. Saya pun tak sangka lah. Baiklah, nama yang diberi tanpa dipinta, Muhammad Akmal Abdullah bin Muzaf, boleh panggil Akmal. Dan saya merupakan Presiden bagi Law Student Society. Bagi mungkin yang tak tahu, dekat UIA ni kita ada beberapa society mengikut course, dan bagi kalau siapa-siapa yang ingin menyambung pengajian mereka di UIA, nanti kita akan tahulah adanya course ini namanya club dia apa, course ini nama club dia apa. Dan untuk jurusan undang-undang, asasi undang-undang, kita akan bagi MILEX sebagai Law Student Society. Dan bukan itu saja, saya merupakan pelajar daripada bekas pelajar alumni daripada Teknik KL, dan sekarang alhamdulillah berjaya menyambungkan pelajaran saya di asasi undang-undang Pusat Asasi UIA Kampus Gambang. Dan alhamdulillah, dan sekarang ni SEM 3 ya, alhamdulillah 2 semester dah lepas, SEM 3 ni kita masih lagi bernafas. Saya serahkan semula kepada moderator.
Baiklah, terima kasih Brother Akmal. So, panelis kita yang seterusnya, Saudari Nisa Kisina yang cantik berseri pada malam ini. Saudari Nisa merupakan salah seorang pelajar yang menggunakan medium Arab. So, untuk para hadirin sekalian, untuk pengetahuan para hadirin, di CFS menawarkan program dalam medium Arab dan juga medium English. Dan Saudari Nisa merupakan salah seorang pelajar dari medium Arab. Dan beliau juga merupakan seorang pendebat Arab yang sangat hebat. So, please say hi.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya taklah sehebat yang diperkatakan Sister Yasmin tadi, tapi alhamdulillah mencuba. So, saya Nisa Kisina Media Amran, boleh panggil saya Nisa. Saya berasal dari Al-Star Kedah dan dari sekolah menengah saya adalah Maktab Mahmud Al-Ustaz. Dan seperti yang diberkatakan Siti Hasmin tadi, saya adalah pelajar menggunakan medium Arab kerana saya telah mendaftarkan diri untuk program LLBS di mana saya akan mempelajari undang-undang sivil dan syariah. So adik-adik mungkin akan mendapat lebih informasi tentangnya nanti. So stay tuned. And Alhamdulillah seperti Brother Hashri dan Brother Akmal, saya pun pelajar di CFSIUM dan sekarang berada di semester 3. Alhamdulillah. So nice to meet you.
Masya Allah, terima kasih Sister Nisa dan juga panelis-panelis kita yang lain. Baiklah, mari kita teruskan majlis kita dengan segmen yang pertama. Baiklah, segmen yang pertama, misconceptions of law school. So in everything that we do, we always have what is called as presumptions. For example, in this context of reference, maybe before getting an offer to enroll into law school, we would have felt like law school must be so hard and it must consist of a lot of memorizing. So on that note, people are often stereotyping law students as students that talk so much and students that are good at debate. But what about those students who maybe lack in terms of speaking skills and maybe those who are extroverts? So my first question is, would introverts be able to survive law school? Brother Akmal maybe?
Okay, baiklah. Thank you to the moderator. Right, would introvert actually survive law school? We just to give you guys all the audience a pick of information that we all still are continuing our studies in the foundation level. So we are actually sharing to you guys about how to actually starting the law school itself and whether are these misconception in this segment are really a misconception towards law school. So moving on to the first question, can introvert actually survive? Mula-mula bila dengar soalan ni, saya sebenarnya bukanlah introvert sangat sebab jenis orang banyak cakap kan takkanlah tiba-tiba introvert. Tapi bagi pendapat saya, bila kita lihat banyak je pelajar-pelajar dalam asasi undang-undang dalam batch kami sendiri, sebenarnya yang ramai introvert. Ramai gila yang saya tengok kawan-kawan saya yang introvert je, tak ada pun banyak sangat bercakap macam kami ni. Tak adalah banyak bercakap macam Brother Hashri, orang timbalan Vice President Orator tu. Dia tak banyak bercakap tapi tak semestinya bila anda adalah seorang introvert, anda adalah seorang yang tak banyak cakap, anda tak boleh survive dalam law. Sebab dalam jurusan undang-undang ni bukan kita nak fikir sekadar teknik bercakap, cara bercakap itu saja. Kita nak melihat juga cara kita berfikir, macam mana kita belajar undang-undang dan segala skill-skill tu kita boleh sharpkan, kita boleh perkemaskan lagi bila kita dah masuk. Kita tak perlu pun nak macam aku introvert, aku macam tak perlulah masuk law ni kena jumpa orang. Ada je sebenarnya pekerjaan dalam jurusan undang-undang yang tak payah pun jumpa orang. Tak banyak menjumpa orang terlalu publicly lah. Sebab kalau nak cari kerja-kerja introvert, tak banyak sebenarnya yang ditawarkan. Kalau contoh pergi kerja accountant pun jumpa orang, nak kata apa lagi kan. Itulah pendapat saya. Saya pulangkan semula kepada moderator.
Alright, thank you Brother Akmal for the clarification. So we will be moving on to the second question, which is law hard? Or maybe this question is rather objective or a yes or no question. So I would like to ask Brother Hashri, if law is hard, then what is it that makes law hard? Please.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, so the question is law hard? So honestly speaking, firstly, in every course you take, doesn't matter if it's law or maybe medicine or engineering, it's gonna be hard, especially in the stage of study where you pursue in, let's say, foundation or maybe diploma. Of course, it's gonna be hard. But more specifically to law, I would say it's hard, but adaptable. So it's not a walk in the park, of course. There's a lot of reading. A lot, I mean, 2 or 3 sets of slides per week or per class, and it's often rather dry. So every hour of class, you will be expecting to spend, let's say, 2 or 3 hours of preparation time and study. So if you're taking a full course that consists of maybe 15 hours, and that's an additional of 30 to 45 hours. Okay, wait, it's like maths. So for a total up to, let's say, 60 hours per week. Okay, let's just say that 60 hours per week. So you have a lot of time reading as well as, of course, learning the abilities to adapt law and also apply it towards your circumstances. So aside by that, there's also a lot of writing, and not that kind of writing that you used to write in high school. So you will have to learn a lot of legal writing as well as research and how to use legal citation. So for me, myself personally, I had like 2 or 3 essays, or let's say 4 or 5 last semester, and it was exhausting, as well as about 20 pages in formal writing. So at the aspects of tests, so tests are hard. So multiple choices exam often have more than one right answer. So you have to look at all of the right answers and pick the best answer. So you can't just memorize a bunch of stuff to survive those exams. I mean, you can survive, but most probably you won't be learning anything. So you have to truly know the concept and use legal reasoning to arrive at the best answer for your test. So essay exams are much more harder. So you have to be able to spot all of the legal issues and know how to address them, most probably in 4 hours, because let's say the minimum hours of law paper is 3 or 4 hours. So I'd say it's not about memorizing things, it's more like understanding. You are most likely to remember things for a long period. So of course, you can succeed in miscellaneous ways. At the end of the day, nothing in the world is easy. It all depends on dedication as well as interest. So law is there because it's doable. So yeah, like I said earlier, it's hard, but of course it's adaptable. I'll pass it back to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Brother Hashri on your opinions just now. So let's move on to Sister Nisa. So are you ready?
Yes, Sister Farah.
All right. Okay. So my question for you is, since law is hard, that is what Brother Hashri said just now. How would you study law? Is it all about memorizing, or is it more to understanding and looking into past exercises, or going to see your lecturers? How would you study personally?
All right, thank you for the question, Sister Farah. So talking about memorizing, when I enrolled in law school, a lot of my friends actually asked me, so how was law school? Do you memorize a lot of acts? Do you memorize the constitution and all? So that was actually also my expectation before going to law school, that I will have to remember all the acts. But I'm going to talk on the basis of foundation level. So after studying for 2 semesters and a half in foundation in law, I realized that we haven't yet to memorize all the acts. If memorizing, you have to memorize a lot of examples of cases from that happened before, because you have to use it as an example in your essays and such. So how would I study law? It's not about memorizing only. There are parts where you have to memorize, but it's not the main technique that you have to use in your study. To share with you, one of my lecturers from past semester, her name is Madam Adiba, if you know. She told us, it's before exam and she's giving us advices. She said that memorizing becomes number 2 because understanding becomes number one. So you have to understand the context and then you can memorize it. So actually, it's all about understanding. So you have to read, you have to do exercises, you have to test yourself. And if you really understand that particular topic, and then you can memorize it. If you just solely memorize it without even understanding, I am not sure you'll be able to recall it during the exam to answer the questions. So I hope that answers the question.
It sure does. Thank you so much, Sister Nisa. So that ends the first segment. So let's move on to our second segment, which is habits, what stays and what goes. So speaking on habits, Sister Yasmin, do you have any habits you want to share with us today?
Well, one of my habits that I have, maybe I guess I tend to study like very last minute, and that is something that is actually really hard to curb. And it has stuck with me since high school. Yes.
I see. So it was from high school. So for this segment today, we're talking about habits that should stay in high school and should be continued in university. So let me start with my first question. I will be asking Brother Hashri. The habit of writing down your notes word by word from your lecturer's slide, is it good or not? And if it is good, or if it is bad, could you tell us why?
Okay, so for me, honestly, I don't really write notes. I'm sorry, sir, I know you're listening, but I don't really write notes. I do write when I think it's using high definition terms. So that's just me. But I suggest you write notes, but maybe not specifically what the slide says, but more towards your understanding. It's much more easier that way because the slide is there. So you can just refer to it as it is, but your understanding, maybe you can forget. So because there's gonna be a lot of terms and maybe words you might never seen before, I suggest you to really understand first, and then maybe you can write notes based on your understanding. Because if you write exactly what this slide says, it's not going to be, I mean, honestly, if you're the type of person where, okay, I can copy paste every single part of the word, even if it says I and you, then you can go with that. But for me, honestly, understanding is much more important than just writing notes every single slide, or maybe you tend to memorize each word because you think it's the best for you. It's not. It's understanding it, and then you can adapt towards your notes or slides and everything. But honestly, concept comes first, then you can understand from there. So whatever floats your boat, you do it as long as it works, of course, because if it doesn't work, it's a waste of time. So I hope that answered the question. Pass it back to you.
Wow, this just goes to show Brother Hashri and me are like so different. Like I have to do notes. I'm no genius. Brother Hashri is a genius. Yes. Okay, so let's move on to the second question. I'll be asking Brother Akmal. Brother Akmal, from my own personal experience as a student in high school, I was told that it is good that I like to ask questions in class so that my other classmates could learn something from my questions. So my question to you is that, is asking questions frequently in classes still, how do I say this, considered a good thing as a student in university?
Right, thank you to Sister Farah. Right, asking question in class is actually a very good thing, and it's actually an encourageable habit that we actually need to adapt during class. For example, during my past semester, I learned with one of my madam, which is Madam Humaya. She was teaching she was teaching me for the past 2 semester, for you guys punya information. Okay, dalam 2 semester tu memang Madam Humayah sendiri telah encouragekan kami supaya kami kena sentiasa bertanya dalam kelas. Dia akan setiap kali lepas kelas dia tanya, Akmal ada apa-apa soalan? You guys ada apa-apa soalan? Dia memang akan suruh kami bertanya. Sebab apa? Saya sokong apa benda yang Brother Hashim kata, sebab dia buat nota berdasarkan dia punya understanding rather than you just making a new mind map based on the slide. Dan juga kalau dalam law ni juga banyakkan membaca dan juga banyakkan bertanya. Memang betul law, mungkin orang kata macam law banyak menghafal, tapi for me law is more like you need to read more. Like Madam Humayah actually say that you need to read more in order to you understand anything. I actually pegang benda tu for the past 2 semesters, and I mula belajar law, I rasa macam kenapa macam banyak sangat hafal kan, macam banyak English je terlalu complicated, terlalu sophisticated, and it's like confusing. But that kind of habit kita kena buang. Kita tak boleh nak asyik fikir benda ni susah, benda ni itu, benda ni ini. So daripada kita fikir benda ni susah itu ini, kita tanyalah lecturer kita. And one of other thing that we can actually ask, and this is kind of one type of habit that actually all the high school students maybe can practice when they actually entering the foundation level in universities or etc. Actually consulting with your lecturers regarding on your assignments and regarding on anything. Contohlah kalau korang ada assignment dan memang lecturer tu bagi untuk sesi consultation, means sesi consultation ni adalah sesi untuk kita bertanya. Lecturer memang suka kalau ada student yang tanya. Sebab apa? Kita boleh lecturer dapat tahu kau faham ke tidak sebenarnya apa benda kau belajar. Contohlah macam kami belajar di semester tentang criminal law and constitutional law, which is criminal law sangat senang. Kita nampak macam K-drama, huha, nampak macam best kat situ. Tapi tengok dalam bila belajar, kita banyak tak faham macam actors race tu apa, mens rea tu apa. And we need to keep asking the lecturers, apa ni, apa tu, especially the Latin terms lah, yang tu agak pening sikit. So I pass back to the moderator.
Thank you, Brother Akmal. So we'll be moving on to the next question, which this question will be regarding study groups. So study groups is a familiar term for all of us, right? We've been practicing study groups ever since high school, preparations before exams, and we constantly did our homeworks with our friends, right? However, the advantages and disadvantages of study groups are always being debated. Some people feel like study groups are beneficial, while others may feel like it is distracting. So, Sister Nisa, I would like to ask you, in your opinion, should study groups be practiced by students or should it not?
All right, thank you again. So first, I'm going to point out the question from Sister Yasmin. She said that some people think that group discussions are advantageous and some people think that it distracts and disadvantages students. So that is the point. People have different opinions. So it actually, it depends on you. What type of studying method fits you? Some people, they can't study with people surrounding them. They have to study alone. That's the type of person they are. And some people, they need to have companies with them. And they cannot, sometimes they read the slides, they read the notes, but they can't understand. So they need someone to explain it to them, someone who knows and understands better. So personally, in my opinion, I'm actually flexible on this matter. Some subjects, I think I can study it alone because I have to just read, do exercises, and all kinds. But for some subjects, I cannot understand it alone. I need to discuss with someone. I need to get ideas from other people, what they think, their opinions, their ideas. And so that's how I do it. Some subjects I have group discussions on it, and some subjects I can study it alone. So like I said, it matters on you, how you would like to study it. But if you do group discussions, it's just a little reminder, you have to choose the members of the group wisely, because why does group discussions become ineffective? It's because of some members that are not really motivated to study. You have a group, but some of the members actually don't want to study. They are at the table, you're surrounding the table, but you're talking about another topic other than the the topic that you should be studying on. So you have to choose someone that is really serious in studying, and of course someone that is that excels in some certain subjects so that they can teach you and give you new knowledge. So that's my opinion, and we'll go back to the moderator. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Sister Nisa. That is indeed true. I believe that everyone has different preferences and capabilities when it comes to learning. But at the end of the day, we know ourselves best. So if we prefer study groups, then that is what we should opt for. All right, so without wasting any more time, let us move on with our next segment for tonight. All right, so our third segment is challenges in law school. I believe this title is already self-explanatory. So everyone has different challenges when it comes to, well, doing anything. For example, for me personally, upon entering law school, the challenges that I have faced was that I felt a lot of insecurities. But we're not going to talk about me because I'm only here to moderate and not to speak. So my first question, I would like to ask Brother Akmal, what are some of the challenges that you have faced in law school?
Right, thank you to Sister Yasmin. Oh, dia kata dia tak boleh bercakap malam ni, dia hanya boleh moderate je. Padahal banyak challenges kita malam ni sebab kami semua ni semua sebaya. Bila kami semua sebaya, banyak jugalah challenges yang kami hadapi sebagai law student dekat pusat asasi. Sebab mula-mula macam saya sendiri lah, saya kongsi pengalaman saya. Saya pada mulanya, saya pun tak tahu kenapa saya masuk law. Saya banyak jumpa member saya tak tahu kenapa masuk law. Like ada yang masuk law mungkin sebab parents, ada yang masuk law maybe sebab dia suka, ada yang masuk law maybe sebab dia nak lari daripada subjek-subjek lain. Selalunya macam lari physics, chemist, maths, and also anything related to counting lah, yang ada kira-kira tu. Memang ramai gila yang suka lari sebab tu. Jarang saya jumpa yang memang masuk law, like you masuk law because you like law itself. Memang jarang gila saya jumpa. Dan disebabkan benda-benda macam ni lah yang membuatkan saya rasa macam semester 3 sekarang ni, saya rasa macam betul ke saya nak sambung law degree? Betul ke saya nak kerja dalam bidang law ni? Dia macam terfikir tau. Dia macam challenges tu membuatkan saya macam it will demotivated my studies, like I study for nothing. Because bila kau dah masuk dalam dunia universiti, alam pengajian tinggi, IPT, you need to really think that kita nak belajar ni untuk kerja, untuk buat apa in the future. So adik-adik ataupun penonton-penonton sekalian, challenges yang kami boleh kata kami boleh kata common lah sekali dalam semua pernah hadapi. Am I really want to study this to become a lawyer or to pursue in law field? Memang kami gila terfikir sampai sekarang. Macam yang nak sambung syariah, contoh macam Sister Nisa nak sambung syariah kan. Kadang terfikir tak nak sambung ke syariah, kadang-kadang macam terfikir sikit. Dan challenges macam ni lah yang pertama sekali saya boleh kongsikan. Itu yang akan membuatkan kita demotivated dalam study. Itu yang pertama lah. Kalau yang kedua, selalunya challenges bila kita belajar dalam law ni yang pernah saya nampak lah. Saya pernah nampak ramai gila yang takut nak belajar law because they are not fluent enough in English. This is a common thing because not everyone that in law student in the Center for Foundation Studies kat UIA sendiri lah. Not everyone of them actually very fluent in English, as we can see our both moderators is very fluent in English, but not everyone in our batch is actually very fluent. But did they take that challenge? Yes, diorang ambil challenge yang diorang ada tu. Dalam diorang tak pandai sangat English, diorang belajar. Diorang English kita boleh sharpkan asalkan kau nak belajar, itu saja. Kita masuk course mana-mana pun, kalau kita tak ada niat nak belajar, susah sebenarnya. So niat tu adalah menjadi satu challenge yang pertama, salah satu challenge lah. Kalau kau tak ada niat, kau tak ada niat nak bersungguh tu, memang payah sebenarnya nak sambung dalam bidang law. Sebab tu itu yang saya boleh kongsikan lah, pengalaman dan juga perspektif. Saya nampak kawan saya macam yang tak pandai sangat English, macam insecure, macam I'm not very good in English. Ramai yang memang agak tegak-gagak time presentation, but kita akan encouragekan dekat UIA banyak gila program-program ataupun benda-benda yang untuk public speaking, how to actually become fluent in English, how to actually become fluent in anything. Because not dalam UIA ni kita bukannya nak tunjuk sangat pun, okay, everyone must actually come to your age already fluent in English. No, we actually already semuanya telah diajar slow by slow. Slow. Kita bukan semua orang pandai lahir boleh cakap English orang putih belakang semua, tak boleh. Tapi kita akan belajar lah dekat situ. Okay, Sister Yasmin dah tergelak-gelak tu. Dia tak apa, dia pandai bahasa Inggeris. Kita ni lain sikit lah, susah sikit nak bahasa Inggeris. Okay, saya pass balik kepada moderator.
Thank you so much to our president. Yeah, that is indeed true. I believe that regardless of anything that we do, there will always be challenges, but that is part of the learning process. And we are still in the learning process, right? So let us move on to the second question. I believe that we have discussed this in our previous segment, which is people often stereotype law students as students who are good at debate or good at talking in general. So my question is to the vice president of the debate club. For the students who maybe lack proficiency skills or just debate skills, will they be able to survive?
Okay, hi. So this is quite a tough question because I know my advisor is watching as well as my debate juniors. So if I answer this wrong, most probably they pull out or anything. But yeah, back to our question, will you survive? Of course you can, because I personally think law is more than just about speaking well. It's just that when you can speak well, it will attract more people to listen as much as you look more confident trying to pursue a client, for example, or maybe presenting in front of a class. But yes, I'd say it is important because the skill will put an advantage to you other than other people. But honestly, learning law requires more than just that particular skills. It requires you to have that kind of sort of critical thinking skills as much as the ability to apply what you learn and you put it into reality. So what I'm trying to say here is that you can talk well and such, but if you don't know what you are saying, then there is no use of that. So if you're not good at talking or giving a speech, it's totally fine. But honestly, in law, one has to socialize, debate, make eye contact or anything. So speaking is a main thing required in law, but this thing should never stop you if you would consider yourself to fit in law, because this habit can easily be developed over time, and it is important to develop this habit not only for law but in general life as well. So try to develop this habit, and if you come here to CFS, you can come under my club so I can train you to become someone better in speaking. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Brother Hashri. So let's move on to Sister Nisa. Sister Nisa, please answer my questions with a yes or a no. Okay, my first question for you is, have you ever felt worried as if you've taken the wrong course? Yes or no?
I'm not going to answer yes or no, but I'm going to say, of course, I have.
I see. Okay. So answer yes or no again. Do you know any other people that have felt this way as well?
Yes, and I'm sure everybody also knows because he already said it just now. It's Brother Akmal. He's been talking about his doubts just now.
I see, our own president. Okay. So how would you feel about that? Personally, as you've already felt as if, oh no, did I pick the wrong course, or should I go back? And how do you feel actually inside? What are your thoughts? And if this keeps on going, what is it that keeps you motivated to go on?
All right, thank you again for the question. So like I said just now, of course, doubts are something that we have on a daily basis. We doubt everything we do, and choices are actually a gamble. When we choose something for our future, we will never ever be 100% sure that it's going to be good for us or bad for us. It's a choice. We choose with faith. We believe that it is going to be good for us without even knowing that if it will actually turn out to be good. So from my experience, before choosing law, I have the doubts that I'm not gonna do good in law, but I still chose it because personally, if I don't do law, I don't even know what I want to pursue, because I only see law. Sorry, but this is quite cliche, but yeah. So after after I enrolled in law school and studied, like I said, 2.5 semesters, there are many, really many times that I have asked myself, why do I choose law? Do I really have a passion in law? But I realized that these kind of doubts, these kind of thoughts and thinking will always like appear whenever I'm stressed out. Like when I don't understand the topic, I have a lot to study, the tests are coming, I have too much to do and too little time. All of that thought will haunt me. Why do I choose law? There's so much thing to read. There's so much thing to study. Why do I choose law? But in the end, if we think about it, no course or no things are easy in this world. I'm about to get a little bit philosophical, but life is all about choice. And like I said, choice is a gamble. So all you need to do is believe in yourself. Some might say, how to believe in yourself? It's just, you have to always try. Today you might think you won't excel, but tomorrow you'll still, like me, today I think all the things I said just now, why did I choose law? Law is so hard. But tomorrow I'll still get up, get ready and go to class and still study law. I don't call the management and say I want to quit. No, I still go on. So that's how you actually have to do it. You have to believe in yourself that along the way you will learn. You have your friends that studies with you, you have your family that supports you, and you have lecturers who will guide you. So that's actually my motivation. I look at people, they're also going on, so why should I give up? So even though I doubt myself that I'm going to graduate in law and pursue a law field after I graduate, but trying is something that we have to do. It's a compulsory thing to do as a human. We have to try and we have to believe in ourselves. So I hope everyone will believe in yourself and keep trying. Just keep going. That's all. Thank you.
Am I the only one having teary eyes? Sakit mata. Okay. That was so inspirational. Okay. So Sister Nisa mentioned Brother Akmal. Brother Akmal, I want to ask you another question. So since you're also worried about whether I take the wrong course and everything, so can I ask you, what is it that keeps you going? Is it family members, or is it your own life goals, or is it lecturers? Please explain.
Right, thank you to Sister Farah. Okay, what keeps me going even though I don't know whether I'm taking a right course? Okay, regarding on my parents is not the core who actually pushing me to take law, because when I actually choose my UPU, right, my first choice was law at UIA, and my second choice was Asasi Science Physical at UM. I have two choices, or I could go to Diploma Civil Engineering at UTHM. But my mom actually asked me, betul ke nak sambung law? Berat tu. Like, betul, memang even my mom knew that law is like so heavy. Tapi sebab ada saran-saran daripada cikgu kata sambunglah law. Like you actually can go there. Because before this, I actually ada cita-cita nak jadi cikgu matematik dulu kan. Memang ada cita-cita nak jadi cikgu matematik. Tapi I berubah jadi ambil law because I see that a lot of things in this world needs justice. Like we are actually learning right now. Kita mau belajar like last week, law and justice. And kita nampak banyak je kes dekat Malaysia, kes dekat dunia. Sometimes kita tak faham kenapa kes tu, kenapa orang ni menang? Kenapa orang ni kalah? Kenapa kes ni macam ni? I tak naklah mention mana-mana kes, tapi banyak kadang-kadang kes yang kita tak faham. Contoh kes basikal lajak, kita tak faham. Pada perspektif kita, kenapa kes tu menang? Kenapa orang ni kalah? Kenapa itu? Kenapa ini? Kita tak faham. That's why I'm taking law. That kind of passionate I nak tahu. That's the reason why I actually taking law, because on my own path. Nak kata member I banyak je complain kat my roommate. If my roommate is watching right now, I selalu cakap I macam nak tukar ke human science sekarang ni. I macam nak COP je kat degree. Kadang-kadang I terfikir macam tu, tapi at the end of the day I fikir dah, okay, I already stepped into this because of this. I already taking my steps in law field, in the foundation of law. I must actually continuing my step to the degree of law. Because of what? Because I fikir balik, I'm not gonna waste my energy. I'm not gonna waste anything. Because I know that everything that I learn right now about law, I learn about criminal, I learn about contract law, is going to be useful in the future. And it's actually useful right now because macam kita berurusan dengan orang luar, contoh kita tak tahu macam contract law lah, law of contract. Kita nak berurusan dengan orang luar, ada itu, ada ini, ada apa orang kata, offeror dengan offeree, ada orang kita berurusan tu, kita memerlukan kontrak. Dan macam mana sebenarnya kita nak gunakan ilmu yang kita belajar tu daripada kontrak itu sendiri, kita nak applykan in real life. And not to mention that sebenarnya banyak je dalam pelbagai jurusan dan universiti, dia orang memang perlu belajar law untuk satu semester, dan especially law of contract, because benda tu kita apply. So sebab saya dah melencong sikit ni, saya patah balik lah. Okay, bila patah balik, apa benda yang keeps me going is myself. Bukannya my friends, bukannya my family mungkin second lah kot. Tapi still, it's gonna be myself yang I want to do this. This is my future. I'm the one who determine it. And insyaAllah, kalau ada panjang umur, panjang rezeki, mungkin nampak lah kot jadi lawyer ke, jadi apa ke, PTD ke, kita tak tahulah kan. Tapi in my future. Okay, that's my planning and that's my goal. InsyaAllah. Okay, pass back. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Brother Akmal. I think the conclusion from this segment is all of us didn't get this far just to get this far. We're aiming so much higher, and I know that we all can do it. So that's enough inspirational talk, guys. Enough. Let's move on to the fourth segment, which is life goals. All right. So life goals, ladies and gentlemen, in whatever we do, there's always going to be the finish line on what we want to achieve at the end of the day. So I'm going to ask this to Brother Akmal. Could you please explain the job prospects of a law graduate? Is it just a lawyer or is it much more than that? Please welcome.
Right, thank you to Sister Farah. Okay, apa sebenarnya boleh buat dengan law degree lah, senang cerita pendek soalan dia. Okay, benda ni kita boleh Google sendiri. Adik-adik penonton-penonton sekalian semua boleh Google sendiri. Sebab orang macam saya dulu terfikir kan, macam dulu saya sekolah dengar kan, sekolah teknik dulu. Law je mesti pergi lawyer. Tak, lawyer prosecutor. Sebab apa dalam kita sebab ada satu sebab lah kadang-kadang kenapa kita masuk, kalau boleh tanya a few students of law, law students, dia orang masuk law sebab apa? K-drama. Sebab apa dalam K-drama kita nampak lawyer and prosecutor only. That's the only job prospect yang maybe semua orang tahu, okay, that is law. Okay, orang ambil lawyer, orang ambil a degree of law, itulah dia akan ambil. Tapi ini pun sedikit penambahan lah, saya dapat ilmu tambahan sikit sebab kita orang sebelum ni ada organize program Let's Career Night, which is banyak juga pendedahan-pendedahan yang kami telah buat, iaitu dalam law juga kita ada banyak lagi bidang. Kita ada legal advisor, kita ada mediator and arbitrator, kita ada macam-macam lagi bidang pekerjaan yang kita sebenarnya pun tak tahu. Ada je law, orang yang ambil law tapi tak perlu naik court. Court registrar contohnya, ataupun mediator adalah orang yang tengah yang menguruskan antara dua pihak yang ingin membuat kontrak contohnya, ataupun arbitrator, ataupun syariah officer. Banyak aja sebenarnya kerja-pekerjaan law yang sebenarnya tak perlu pun macam adik-adik nak fikir ataupun penonton berfikir, oh asyik law je pergi jadi lawyer. Tak perlu pun. Boleh je kalau nak law, macam saya pun tak terfikir kat sekarang. Aku nak jadi apa nak jadi lawyer ke, mediator ke, PTD ke, AGC. Dia macam banyak sangat pekerjaan dalam bidang law. Sebab anything that, kenapa saya kata banyak, anything related in this world, even you go to any company, you need a legal advisor. You need to someone who actually lead a guide when it comes to law of contract, when it comes to law itself. Itu apa yang pengetahuan yang saya tahulah, sebab walaupun kami daripada baru saja pelajar asasi, tapi pengetahuan kami tentang pekerjaan-pekerjaan lawyer ni sebenarnya sangat besar. Sebab apa? Sebab ada je beberapa lecture daripada law, Department Legal Studies sendiri yang pernah practicing law itself. Ada yang pernah naik court, ada yang pernah jadi paralegal, and those kind of experience they already shared to us. Diorang dah share sebenarnya law ni banyak je boleh kerja. Dan boleh je check sendiri dekat kami punya YouTube channel ni, ada je satu live session kami yang telah diorganiskan daripada batch lepas, what can I do with a law degree. Banyak je sebenarnya input dalam tu yang kita boleh tahu, dan kita boleh je cari dekat YouTube dan kat tempat-tempat apa lagi kerja-kerja yang boleh buat dengan law selain dengan degree of law, selain daripada lawyer dan prosecutor saja. Let balik-balik lawyer, let balik-balik prosecutor. Tak ada benda lain yang dalam dunia. Banyak lagi kerja ya adik-adik dan tuan-tuan puan sekalian. Okey, saya serahkan semula kepada moderator.
All right, thank you so much, Brother Akmal. So it can be understood that with a law degree, there's so many things that you can do that do not limit to only being a lawyer. So in following this question, I would like to ask Brother Hashri. So we've just discussed that there are so many things that we can do with a law degree, right? So where do you see yourself in 10 years? And if you don't necessarily see yourself pursuing in law, then what can you picture yourself doing, please?
Thank you. Okay, so where do I see myself in 10 years? Cliche answer, I'll see myself working in a law firm, and then I have a lot of tons of papers in front of my desk. I'm just writing down and I get my money back. But not a cliche question. Honestly, for me, I don't really know, because honestly speaking, I used to want to be a pilot, and then I used to during my high school I took pure science because I know that I want to be pilot, and I see myself in 10 years, or I'm just gonna fly an airplane and see you guys from downstairs, and then I'm just gonna do whatever it takes. But along the way, I think I developed another feeling in which, okay, I think I can succeed in law as well. So to answer that question, where do I see myself in 10 years? I honestly really think what's best for me in 10 years is whatever floats me in 10 years. Because I just share with you something. I always put in myself, I learn, it's not because I want a law degree, or I learn not because I want an A. Tapi, okay, I'll just put it in Islamic aspects. I learn because ilmu tu sangatlah penting. Ilmu tu penting untuk seorang itu mara ke hadapan ataupun menjadi seorang Muslim yang sangat-sangat bagus. So I always put that in myself, so I don't really target, oh, I want to become a lawyer in the future. I really want to become somebody useful as for my family, myself, and my society behind my back. And maybe if I have that kind of advantage in speaking, or as well as maybe if I learn faster than anyone else, I think that will flow back to them as well as teaching the next generation. So I think my answer is not specific. It's just I'm just going to be doing my best, and whatever floats the boat, inshallah, I will give the best towards the people that are trying. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Hashri. That was very lovely. So let us move on to the next question. I would like to ask Sister Nisa, what is it that made you want to study law? Like, why law?
Okay, I actually said this in my previous answer, that if I don't pursue law, I don't know what I'm going to pursue. But actually, I also have reasons and things that triggers me to choose law. So to share with you, I also have different ambitions, like Brother Hashri. Before I found law, I had an ambition to be a scientist. But that was before I realized science is not for me. When I enter high school, we have PT3, right? And you have to choose the stream that you want to go. So in my school, we have science stream, economy, accounting, and business. That time I was very, I really wanted to go to science stream. My parents also told me that they see me, I don't really excel in science and maths. So they say that it's going to be really hard for me. But I keep on believing that I can do it. I can just study. When it gets hard, I'll just ask my friends. I can study science. I know that I can. But on the last day that you have to actually determine what you want to choose, on that day, I met a friend, and she told me that she wanted to go to economics stream. And on that day also, I met a teacher that says to me, even though you don't go to science stream, you actually can, there are some better things for you if not science. Not only science that can, determine your future. So there are some things that made me realize that day that I can't do science. So I went to economics. But that time I still haven't, met with law. Uh it's a cliche one, but I got triggered and motivated by a drama. So if you know, there's a Malay drama named Konun 99. So I watched that drama, and it's about Sharia law. And I don't know why, but I got interested in knowing about all the cases. And not to mention, I also have Sharia subject that I learn about all the Sharia in Islam, all the hukum, and all the, like cases, like, divorce, talak, cerai, and all of that. And I just got interested, and I don't know why. Sometimes you just don't know why you love something. You just love it. And after that, I think law might be interesting. And also, I just found out at that time that my mother also took law in her degree, but she ended up being a teacher because after she graduated, she had some personal issues and she cannot pursue, so she became a teacher instead. So when I told her that I actually had an interest in law, she told me that good, you can pursue law, you can even, I can graduate and actually pursue in law field, maybe I can work in law field to, like, resume her journey that is not, yeah, yang tak kesampaian, orang kata. So that's how I'm here. I'm taking law. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Sister Nisa. All right, that marks the end of our panelist segment. Thank you so much to all our panelists tonight. We hope that all of the info and perspectives given by the speakers would give us an insight on what it means to be a law student. So let's move on to our next segment.
All right, our next segment, Ask Your Lecturers. So what is interesting about this segment is that our panelists will be the lecturers of the Central Foundation Studies, Department of Legal Studies. So I would like to introduce our first panelist of tonight, Sir Ridwan bin Saleh, who also happens to be my lecturer for Law and Society. So Sir Ridwan, please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, Assalamualaikum. My name is Sir Ridwan. I've been with the center for 6 or 7 years now. So that's a little bit about me. I'm an IUM alumni as well.
Thank you to Sir Ridwan. So let's move on to our second panelist, the beautiful, the gorgeous Miss Siti Farhana binti Abu Hassan. Please introduce yourself.
Assalamualaikum everyone. Hi, my name is Siti Farhana binti Abu Hassan from the Department of Legal Studies. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you to both panelists. So let's start the questionnaire session. For my first question, let me ask Ms. Siti Farhana, can you tell us a bit about your chambering experience?
Okay, sure. My chambering experience, I did my chambering in 2015, if I'm not mistaken, after I completed law school. I did my chambering in a law firm in Anusta Kedah. The firm where I did my chambering, the firm did both conveyancing and litigation matters. Litigation matters, usually you have to go to court representing your client. Like this firm did on banking litigations matter. We are representing the bank. Okay, for those who make a loan with the bank, but you didn't pay the loan, for example, then we will go against you to get back the money. And then not only litigious matter, the firm did on conveyancing matters as well. For conveyancing matters, we are not required to go to court. Usually conveyancing matters, it involves real estate property, like nak jual beli rumah, nak jual beli tanah, preparing the agreement and all that. Usually in the morning, during my chambering period, I have to go to court to presenting my client. And then after I complete all the matters in court, okay, I went back to the office doing the conveyancing matters. Okay, like I have to fill in the form for you to jual beli rumah and all that. And then at times I have to go to the land office, pejabat tanah, to complete the jual beli rumah for our clients. And besides litigation and conveyancing matters, my firm did on Sharia litigation matters as well. I have the experience of following my boss, basically my masters at that time. Went to Sharia court. Okay, I have to take report and then preparing written arguments for our client. And I think that's about that. Okay, my chambering experience. It was a nice one because I learned a lot during my chambering period.
I see. That sounds interesting. So how long did it take for you to complete the chambering session?
Chambering period. After you completed your law school though, you have to complete your chambering period for 9 months. And I did that for 9 months.
9 months. Okay. Miss Siti Farhana, I know this is like a cliche question, but is it a must for all law students to be taking chambering?
If you would like to practice as a lawyer, basically as an advocate and solicitor, yes, you have to complete your chambering. You have to get the license and being called to the bar as an advocate and solicitor. Basically, you have to be called to the bar as a lawyer. If you want to practice as a lawyer, yes, obviously you have to complete your chambering. But if you do not want to practice as a lawyer, for example, like me, I choose to be a teacher, a law teacher. Actually, I am not required to complete my chambering. But for the sake of experience, I always advise my student, please do your chambering, even though you do not want to become a lawyer in the future, just to get the experience and get the license as well.
I see. Thank you so much to Miss Siti Farhana. That was a very good insight for me as well as a law student. Okay, so now I know I have to take chambering. Okay. Okay, so moving on to my second question, Sir Ridwan. So, in my personal opinion, when I speak to my friends who are taking accounting, for example, they always say that they're worried about taking accounting because they claim that in the near future, robots will be taking over accounting, the profession of accounting. So my question to you, sir, is will robots be taking over law as well?
Thank you very much for the question, Farah. But before I answer that question, I just would like to congratulate the committee members of this Lexbuzz 2.0 for reaching out to the schools and your juniors basically, and to promote our law program here at CFS. Now, answering to your question, will one day robots take over our job as in the legal field? Actually, if you talk about the legal field, we are not working with algorithm. We are not working with system, but rather we need to use our creativity. We need to use our intelligence. We need to be someone who have critical thinking, and we also need to be able to analyze things. And I'm sure, and out there is no one single solution for every problem. So every problem requires unique kind of solution. So this kind of job might be very difficult to be replaced by robots or system that have algorithm or have any kind of formulas to it, because law is actually almost like science. This is actually something that concern what we call that. We cannot plan to do this kind of thing. So everyday lawyers will face unique kind of problem that require unique kind of solution. So hopefully in 10, 20 years, hopefully in our lifetime, we will never see our work as in this legal profession be taken over by robots. Inshallah.
Thank you so much to Sir Ridwan. I'm very happy to hear that. So I will be passing the floor to Yasmin.
All right, so the next question is, we know that there are so many branches of law, such as we have family law and property law, criminal law, and the list goes on, right? So I would like to ask either of the lecturers, how would we know which area of law is what suits us best? So Ridwan, maybe?
Pardon, can you repeat the question, Yasmin?
All right, sorry. We know that there are so many fields of law, right? We have family law and property law. So how would we know which area of law is where we can excel best?
Now, first of all, before you start your actual LLB studies or your law studies, you will be actually having your foundation studies at CFS. So you have ample time to think what you might have in what kind of legal field that you have interest in. And hopefully throughout your study period of 5 years, 5 years, including this foundation, you will have some insight about the various fields of the legal world. And of course, during your chambering, vast exposure, like Ms. Fahana mentioned just now, you will be exposed to unique kind of legal issues, legal problem that you never learn in law school. So basically, you will develop, or you will be able to identify what is the field that suit you the most throughout your experience as a law student. Yeah, I think that's about it.
All right, thank you so much, Sir Ridwan. Ms. Farhana, would you like to add anything?
Well, if you are asking about which area of law that suits you best, maybe you have to experience all. Like when I was a student before, whenever that we have to take certain subjects, then you know that you like that subject. I do not know if you are talking based on my experience, then I have to take that subject first. Then I know whether I like that subject or not. Like for me, probably the area that I like most maybe something related to torts, but not contract, because I have the experience of learning both subjects, and I know that contract is not that for me. Tort maybe it's like that because I have the experience of taking the subjects, and right? I do not have like macam specific criteria that I can mention to you guys which area of law that suits you best. Maybe you have to experience all, then you know which one suits you best.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Farhana. So we'll be moving on to the Q&A session. All right, so I would like to ask the first question to our lecturers, Sir Ridwan and Ms. Farhana. What is constitutional law about?
Actually, we should be the one asking you the question since you have just undergone that course, right, this semester. So basically, if you talk about constitutional law, it concerns the rights and duties of a citizen. We learn a little bit about the supreme law of the federation, i.e. the federal constitution. We will also examine the various what we call that organs of the government and some of the processes related to it. I think that's about a little bit about constitutional law. Maybe Ms. Fahana would like to add.
Constitutional law, basically, if we want to discuss it specifically, you can refer to your federal constitution. Everything is there. We are talking about the human rights, okay, the fundamental liberties, the process, the parliamentary process in our country, the legislation process, the lawmaking process in our country, and then about the constitution of our government as well, in our federal constitution, it talks about our election system, everything about the constitution of our country. Basically, if we are discussing or if we are talking about constitutional law specifically in our country. But kalau constitution law in general, like everything like that lah, macam constitution of a country, the relationship of a country with another country and all that. Okay.
Thank you so much to both lecturers. So I will move on to the second question. I would like to ask Miss Siti Fahana. Okay, Miss Fahana, this question is from the audience, this is not from me. I would like to clarify that, but somebody from the audience are asking, what is tort?
What is tort?
What is tort?
Tort is a civil wrong. Tort is a civil wrong. When you are doing a civil wrong, ini adalah satu bentuk kesalahan lah basically. Selalunya example yang mudah kalau saya nak discuss dengan student kan. Contohnya kalau kita involved in an accident, ada orang terlanggar belakang kereta kita for example. So kita boleh claim compensation ataupun pampasan daripada orang yang melanggar kereta kita itu. That is one of the branches ataupun one of the areas of tort. Yang mudahlah, maksudnya kita buat satu kesalahan civil. Dia tidak sama dengan satu kesalahan jenayah. Kesalahan jenayah ni lain, kesalahan civil ni lain. Kalau kita bercakap tentang kesalahan civil, discussion dia under the law of tort.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Farhana. So the next question, I would like to ask the law students, our panelists are tonight. You guys have said before that to ask questions in class is actually something that is very much encouraged, right? But some students have said that they're afraid of doing so because they don't want to interrupt other students because, well, we know that when we ask questions, that would drag the length of the class. And then the lecturers would let us out late, right? So how do you guys feel about that? Maybe Sister Nisa?
Okay, so based on my experience, all my lecturers before, when they give lecture, they will always, like when at the end of the topic, they will ask, so do you have any questions? So actually, it won't like drag too much. You don't have to worry about that actually. It's about your understanding. You want to understand the topic, so you have to just ask if you don't understand. Because if you care about what other people think, then you won't get the understanding. So it's, you know, it's not being selfish. Your friends will also get the benefit of the understanding that of what the lecturer will tell you later. So I think that's it.
Thank you to Sister Nisa. Brother Akmal, do you have anything to add?
Alright, I have some of experience yang pasal orang takut macam bila tanya soalan takut drag kelas kan, nanti classmate rasa macam benci you and everything, right? Okay, pernah aja a few people yang I see of my friends yang bila ada member dia tanya, like some of the girls actually tanya at the end of the class, dia rasa macam, kenapa nak tanya, aku nak habiskan kelas cepat. Ada yang fikir macam tu, tapi kena fikir balik, dia actually orang-orang yang bertanya during the class ni actually brave enough to actually bertanya in front of the whole class. Sometimes beranak gila yang student-student ataupun macam batch kami, member kami ni, dia orang akan tanya either in the group WhatsApp ataupun dia akan tanya personal. So which is adakah benda habit tanya kepada lecturer after class ataupun dia akan tanya macam lepas lecture tu mengajar, bagus ke tidak? Memang bagus. Memang sangat-sangat bagus. Tapi whether akan membuatkan kawan stres, yes. Tapi adakah itu salah kamu? Tidak. Itu salah mereka. Mereka perlu faham bahawa soalan-soalan yang kita tanya, contoh macam saya tanya soalan dalam kelas kan, saya akan tanya, kalau saya tanya, kalau terdrag sikit pun selaju tak adalah drag jauh sangat sampai student keluar lambat. Jarang lagi lah saya jumpa yang macam tu. Sebab bila dekat universiti, pembelajaran setahu saya lah, ini berdasarkan pengalaman, pembelajaran kat universiti memang sangat-sangat fleksibel. So selalunya lecturer akan lepaskan awal 10 minit ataupun lepaskan awal setengah jam, dan itu membuatkan kadang-kadang sempat je sebenarnya nak tanya soalan, tak ada pun sampai direct class. Jarang lah sampai direct class, dan sangat-sangat encourageable untuk tanyalah soalan. Sebab kita bukannya pandai sangat. So lagipun dalam satu bidang yang kita tak belajar dalam waktu sekolah menengah, kita mana belajar law. So kita kena nak tanya kan. Kita belajar kat sekolah dulu sejarah. Lepas tu orang ingat orang pandai sejarah kena ambil law. Itulah masalahnya. Okay, I pass back to the moderator.
Thank you so much to Brother Akmal. So moving on to my next question, I would like to ask Sir Ridwan. Sir Ridwan, you have a fan in the spectators today. They want you to answer specifically. What or who encouraged you to pursue law?
Actually, thank you for that question. And to be honest, for those who are in my class this semester, when we started our class face-to-face, I did ask each and every one of you what motivates you to pursue law. And to be honest, me in this legal line is actually accidental, or rather, it was destiny. So I think because at first, I'm a science stream student and I never thought of pursuing law actually, but the thing is, after few weeks in law classes, I felt that there was a reason why I'm in this line, and then I just try my best to do as best as I can, and then at one time I feel there is a reason for me to pursue law, and at the end of the day, I think it's a very interesting field for me to explore. And at the end of the day, what I can conclude from that is it's okay if you don't have interest in doing law at first, but as long as you give it a chance with proper or right attitude, then inshallah, whatever line that you choose, then you will be okay. So I think I respond to that question like that. But to be honest, I enjoy each and every journey of my studies as a law student before. So tu je lah.
Thank you so much, Sir Ridwan. That was very touching. So my next question, I would like to open to all our panelists tonight, lecturers and students. What are the minimum requirements needed for potential students to pursue in law?
Kami student tak boleh jawab. Kami bagi lecture kami masuk je. Dan pohon dapat, alhamdulillah.
Alright, Miss Farhana maybe?
Yeah, I'll take that question. Can I share my screen?
Sorry, Miss?
Can I share my screen?
Oh yeah, sure.
MashaAllah, very well prepared, Miss Farhana.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, Miss.
Right. This is the minimum requirement for our law foundation program. Okay. Minimum entry requirement to our law foundation program. Syarat-syarat minimum kemasukan ke program asasi. Now, boleh nampak dekat sini. This is if you would like to become part of our CFS IIM law students. These are the minimum requirements that you have to fulfill. Okay, kena obtain for 5 subjects listed here, A-. Okay, then minimum grade for your bahasa Melayu adalah C+. For bahasa Inggeris A- ataupun a combination of bahasa Inggeris together with bahasa Arab. Okay, and then pendidikan Islam minimum requirement B, sejarah B, mathematics minimum requirement C. Okay, lepas tu adalah here, okay, mana-mana mata pelajaran yang belum diambil kira, for example, pendidikan Al-Quran dan Sunnah, pendidikan Syariah Islamiah, Usuluddin Syariah, apa semua ni, at least you dapat 2 subjects from those listed here, grade C+. So maksudnya kena ada at least 5 subjek yang dapat A-, lepas tu kena tengoklah dekat minimum grade yang you kena obtain for bahasa Melayu, bahasa Inggeris or combination bahasa Melayu together with bahasa Arab. Bahasa Arab tu dia ada banyak lah, sebab I know that for SPM students ni ada yang ambil bahasa Arab, ada yang ambil Lughah Arabiah Muasirah, ada yang ambil surat bahasa Arab, Al-Adab wal Balaghah. Semua tu dia kumpulkan sekali. Pendidikan Islam, sejarah, matematik, and kalau kata sciences student yang ambil additional mathematics, chemistry, physics, biology, additional sciences and all that tu dia boleh dicampur sekali untuk jadikan 5 subjek yang you kena obtain A-. Is it clear? Hopefully it's clear.
But
Yes, Miss.
bear in mind, this is the minimum requirements only.
Yes,
But you will
minimum
still be
requirement.
chosen based on the algorithm by UPU.
Okay, for just a reminder for our future law students who are now watching, you can always go to our CFS website to see this. Maksudnya after this, kalau nak isi punya UPU kan, bolehlah come back to the website and you can see this syarat-syarat minimum kemasukan ke program asasi for your future reference. Okay. Thank you. Passing back to the moderator.
All right, thank you so much to Ms. Siti Farhana. So I would like to open this question to both lecturers. I really hope there are no other university spies here because the question is, what are the advantages if I pursue law in CFS IIUM rather than other law schools? Who would like to answer this question? Sir Ridwan?
I think first we at CFS, we offer a very unique pathways for you to complete your legal studies or Bachelor of Laws, where we are among one of the institutions that provide double degree program. So after you have completed your foundation program, you will be streamed to our main campus, Ahmad Ibrahim Kuliah of Laws. And in that campus, you have the opportunity to pursue of course, you need to pursue Bachelor of Laws. And if you have completed the Arabic requirements at CFS, you also have the opportunity to pursue your second degree with additional 1 year of study. So you will be attending convocation twice like Ms. Farhana. So this is something unique that we have here at IIUM Law Program. So if anything, Ms. Farhana would like to add?
Okay, I will share my screen again. Right. Basically about our program, just a short one. The Foundation in Law program is a comprehensive program to provide knowledge and skills needed to pursue a degree in law. Okay, basically in this foundation center, we prepare the students before they go to the main campus in Gombak. Okay, so if you are here in CFS IIUM, okay, you are doing or you are reading law here in CFS IIUM, these are the subjects that you will have to take. Okay, during your first semester, okay, you have to take introduction to law as well as introduction to Islamic law. During your second semester, you have to take introduction to contract and tort law. Together with introduction to legal skills, and during your third semester, you have to take introduction to constitutional and criminal law as well as law and society. I think by looking at the name of the subject itself, ada certain subject tu yang you know what is it that you are going to learn. Macam introduction to law, kita akan belajar about the meaning of law, the elements of law, basically the classification of law and all that. So introduction to Islamic law, as mentioned by Sir Ridwan previously, we are not in IIUM because we are a special university that provide a privilege for the students to pursue not only in their LLB but together with LLBS. Then you are not going to learn about civil law only. Okay, you akan belajar juga Islamic law. So in your degree, okay, these are the two pathways that you can choose. Okay, whether to complete only LLB or you can take double degree. You can complete your LLB and take another 1 year to complete your LLBS as well. I think that's very brief lah. Tapi kalau you masuk our foundation program, lagi banyak lah details that we will share with you guys. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Farhana. So the next question I would like to ask the students, which is throughout your entire foundation studies, which subject had been the hardest? Brother Hashri, maybe?
Yeah. So which one is the hardest one? I think the one with the most cases in it, the most example of cases in slides. I think that's the most difficult one. But honestly speaking, I can't say it's hard. I mean, it's something for you to learn, but maybe the way you try to understand it, it might be hard because it's something new. There's some new legal terms or new words that you never really seen it before, so it's quite hard. But yeah, like I said, it's adaptable as well. So yeah, that's my answer. Thank you.
All right, thank you to Brother Hashri. So my next question would go to Brother Akmal. What makes studying law in CFS IIUM different from other law schools? We've heard from the lecturers, so now the audience would like to hear from you as a speaker. Please welcome.
Alright, thank you to moderator. Oh, apa yang membuatkan daripada perspektif student. Okay, menariknya belajar law dekat UIA ni, satu, kita bagi student-student yang nak sambung LLBS or anything, ni based on my pengetahuan yang nak sambung LLBS tapi tak ada basic Arabic, kita memang dalam UIA memang akan diajar basic Arabic itu sendiri, dan at the end of the first semester boleh mohon untuk change to Arabic medium, dan tapi kena extend sikit lah semester tu, tapi still boleh pursue in double degree. Dan benda tu Miss Fana pernah cerita kami jugalah, tapi kami kadang-kadang lupa, tapi memang Miss Fana sendiri pernah cerita dekat kami, memang untuk student-student yang tak ada basic Arabic, kalau you guys tak ada basic Arabic, korang boleh je nak sambung LLBS. Ada cara dia, ada pathway dia. Berbanding dengan universiti lain tak ada offer double degree and everything, just like being presented by Miss Fana just now. And also what's best learning law at CFS IIUM, bukan saja learning law lah, other courses also fun as well because of the flexibility of your time. Kalau ikutkan logik akalnya, pelajar law adalah pelajar yang paling fleksibel lagi lah, time dia lagi. Sebenarnya kami, kalau orang ingat tengok macam matrix kelas 8484 kan, kami kadang-kadang satu hari satu subjek, kadang-kadang dua subjek. Kalau if you're taking language classes, yang tu maybe a few hours lah, tapi kadang-kadang kami ada masa je untuk free, untuk organize this program, untuk buat aktiviti koko. Sebenarnya belajar dekat UIA as a law student is most fun because kita orang banyak masa untuk study, banyak masa untuk commit into a program, untuk extracurricular activities, and also banyak juga masa untuk belajar lah, untuk kita discover more about law. Kita orang pun tak adalah selalu sangat tengok slide tu saja. Kami kadang-kadang ada je masa yang lebih untuk pergi ke benda lain, untuk tengok assignment, untuk go deeper into the topic itself. Contoh macam last week saya belajar pasal mens rea dalam criminal law. Sempat je nak tengok lagi benda-benda tu, dan sempat je lagi untuk study untuk upcoming test that we're going to be having on this Wednesday and next week. So sempat je sebenarnya, dan time dia sangat-sangat flexible. Tak adalah macam scary sangat macam budak law terlalu pack, pegang buku kat mana-mana, tak adalah sangat macam tu. Ada je pegang, tapi kami semua internet je lah sekarang, ujung jari. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Brother Akmal. So my next question, I would like to ask our lecturers, if a student was not given the opportunity to continue with a foundation in law at CFS particularly, what are some other alternatives that they could opt for to pursue a law degree that is aside from foundation itself? So Ridwan, maybe?
Sorry, Yasmin, can you repeat your question?
Oh, sorry. All right. If a student was not given the opportunity to pursue a foundation in law at CFS, then what other alternatives can they go for if they still want to get a law degree aside from foundation?
Okay, I think I can respond to that. Firstly, if you really wanted to join Ahmad Ibrahim Kuliah of Laws at the main campus, there are several pathways on how you can do so. First is of course through foundation studies here at CFS, and we are also offering the same program, however at a private wing of IUM, which is IUM Academy. So from there also you will be eligible to join Ahmad Ibrahim Kuliah of Laws. But besides that, if I'm not mistaken, the Kuliah also have direct intake students where they open opportunities for students from STPM leavers as well as STAM leavers as well as A levels from other institutions, if I'm not mistaken. But foundation is not the only way to join the Kuliah, but this is the most the mainstream to the huge number of students coming from the foundation program. And if you pursue law foundation at CFS IUM, you will be in the main campus, or it is almost, I can say almost 90% you will be able to pursue the law degree at IUM main campus, Ahmad Ibrahim Kuliah of Laws, as long as you fulfill the minimum requirements here at foundation. So as long as you fulfill that, inshallah, a spot for you for the law degree studies at the main campus. Ms. Fahna would like to add anything?
I think that's comprehensive enough. Maksudnya you ada choices lah, not only attending CFX IIUM, you can go to private wing of IIUM Academy, dia macam foundation juga tapi dia private wing, ataupun masuk melalui STPM Libus direct intake to ICOL.
Alright, thank you so much to Sir Ridwan and Miss Farhana. So this question is also for both lecturers. What are the most important characteristics that one needs to have in order to take part in legal occupation? Okay. Miss Farhana, maybe?
Okay, the most important characteristic, are you talking about just one important characteristic? One important characteristic.
One.
If you're just talking about one important characteristic, it would be hard for me to choose. We need all the skills that you have to acquire in order to be a good law student, and then in your career in the future pun you need all the skills that to be a good lawyer, ataupun when you are becoming a prosecutor you need all the skills. One important characteristic tu I cannot emphasize this one, but you have to be very determined with what you are doing. We have to keep on learning, even us pun at this level, like macam we are teaching you guys pun, we are still in the process of learning as well. Like every day we are learning from the students, we are learning from the questions coming from the student at the end of the class tu kan. And then we have to keep on learning, we have to very determined. What else? You know that you have to do your work lah, basically like that. And then most importantly, kena banyak berdoa juga lah kot. Maksudnya as a Muslim we believe that way kan. Maksudnya after you try your best, like every time bila nak exam you try your best, you study hard, then rezeki tu Allah dah bagilah basically. So, kena banyak berdoa juga. Kalau kata nak emphasize satu important characteristic tu, I cannot emphasize this one. Ada banyak benda, the process that you have to go, your journey that you have to complete before you can become a successful one. That's all from me.
If I may add what Miss Fahna has mentioned just now, I think if you say one, like Miss Fahna said, it's difficult for me, or rather it is impossible for me to identify one important thing that you must have to become a good law student. But among the things that I can add on from what Miss Fahana mentioned just now, number one is perseverance, because now you guys are basically the COVID batch, and after the COVID, it has changed us 360 degrees. So I think perseverance is very important, because you need to be able to adapt. You will need to be able to accept changes. You need to be so high expectation is on you and your juniors and so on and so forth. And I think rather than talking about the hard skills, research skills, speaking skills, I think it's also important for you to have the soft skills. You need to be able to work in a team. You need to be able to know how to communicate effectively. And like Ms. Fahana said, I think if you want to talk about what are the qualities to become a good law student, I think the talk will end tomorrow, because there are so many things that we need to equip ourselves in order for us can be a very good law student. But the thing is, at the very least, you must be able to achieve certain standard, minimum standard, especially on your language proficiency if you are talking about doing law, because doing law is very closely related to language studies. So if you have advantage in your language, so you'll be having, inshallah, you'll be good. So for those out there who are really interested to do foundation in law, to pursue legal studies, I think from now on, you can start to brush up your language as well as your communication skills, because I believe this is the basic features or the basic things that a future law students need to have or need to brush up before they pursue law studies. Bukan nak cakap yang tak pandai English tak boleh buat law, tapi kepada student yang ada mungkin masalah untuk buat law, untuk bahasa Inggeris ni, paling kurang kena ada satu rasa untuk aku perlu perbaiki bahasa Inggeris aku. Aku perlu memperbaiki communication aku, so that when you are in the campus, when you start your legal studies, you will not be struggling with the content because the teaching or the delivery, the references are all in English. We are an English and Arabic medium institution. So you must familiarize yourself with those kind of things. Tu je.
All right, thank you, Sir Ridwan. So my next question is for Sister Nisa. We know that CFS IIUM offers programs in English and Arabic mediums, right? So LLBS or Sharia Law would be an Arabic medium program that would be conducted in fully Arabic. So if I were a student interested in Sharia, but I do not have any basic in Arabic, would I be able to survive?
All right. For degree studies, I'm not yet sure because I'm only on foundation level. But like how was said before, in CFS IIUM, you will be learning the basic. You'll start from basic of Arabic. So you just try to excel in Arabic at CFS, and then inshallah in degree level you can inshallah can survive. Because personally, I don't think Arabic is hard. You just need to have perseverance, like Sir Ridwan said. It's all about efforts. If you want it, you will try to excel in it. Just just try. Like I said before, keep trying. If you have interest in it, inshallah you will try. That's it.
Thank you to Sister Nisa. So my next question would be for Brother Akmal. So the question is, are students required to practice being a lawyer in court while they're still in foundation phase? And also, how often?
Amboi soalan ke main. Kami dah kena praktis ke? Nampak kalau rasanya soalan ni kalau kita tengok dari perspektif lecture ni, rasanya foundation level practice in court, no. But do you learn a little bit of anything? Yes, because kita ada contoh program-program tentang pengenalan tentang court, tentang mooting, and also ada ke tidak skill yang kami belajar yang akan digunakan dalam court? Yes, in subject legal skill, where kita orang belajar how to read this statute, where we learn how to debate, sharpening our debate skills. Where itu je lah yang kami boleh kata, sebab yang saya boleh kata sendirilah, sebab kami foundation level ke tiba-tiba nak naik court macam tak pelik ke? Tiba-tiba naik court like you foundation level, dia akan jadi terkejut. Tapi yang saya boleh kata, kami belajar pengenalan dulu. Nak kata naik court semua tu, maybe in degree, or maybe Miss Fana or Seridan can share their experience when doing this kind of thing. Okay, I tak tahu, so can.
All right, thank you so much, Brother Akmal. So the next question, I would like to ask Miss Farhana, who taught me contract and tort law last semester. Miss, why do people say that civil law is harder than criminal law? Will you enlighten us?
Civil law is harder than criminal law. I think this is actually based on your perspective. I am not seeing that way. Actually, civil law is harder than criminal law. I think criminal law is harder than civil law. I think it is because your perspective. Maybe for civil law, it has many branches. Like I mentioned, we have torts, we have contracts, we have anything related to administrative law, constitutional law, and all that. Kalau kata criminal ni, maybe just that one branch. Tapi ada banyak jenis juga criminal. So if I have to say that civil law is harder than criminal law, I am not saying that. I am not seeing that in my perspective. I think it's just the same. Cumanya, yes, when it comes to memorize cases, yes, but both for criminal law pun you have to memorize cases as well. Tapi mungkin kalau toughest in terms kalau yang mana lagi tough, if you would like to compare in terms of practice, I would rather say that practicing as a criminal lawyer is tougher because you have to deal with the accused. Penjenayah kan, you have to deal with penjenayah, and then the burden of proof is greater as compared to burden of proof in civil law. When it comes to evidence and arguments in court, maybe criminal law is way more difficult as compared to civil law, if I am looking from that perspective.
All right, thank you so much to Miss Farhana. So my next question goes to Brother Hashri. An audience would like to know, do you think your schedule is packed during foundation in CFS IIUM? I know that for Brother Akmal, he said that it's not so packed, but what do you think, Brother Hashri?
Honestly, okay, let's look at it based on my schedule. So it's packed. For me, it's packed because I'm currently on co-curriculum on debate, so I have to like organize debate tournament. As for today, like in the morning, I have debate, and then now I have to talk in a program. So, but if you're not into COCO, you're not into any club and societies, I think it's not that packed. I don't know about any other universities, but law in CFS for me personally is not that packed. You have tons of hours for you to study for yourself, and maybe you can use that time to actually understand better. So in a way, pack, I don't really think that's the right word, but yeah, I think it's not that pack because you won't be having like class 8 to 6 every single day. There's always like, okay, you have lunch hours from 12 to 2, and sometimes you don't have class from 2 to 4. So it's not that pack. You can adapt, and then it's fun. Yeah, that's all.
If I may add to Brother Hasri's response just now, I believe if you join more programs, if you are more active, then you will have more experience. If you have joined a lot of inside or external or internal program, you will of course have more what we call that knowledge from your friend. But you also have the option not to join anything. But the thing is, the more you do, the more you get, rather than as from the aspect of knowledge and experience. But the key word that I think I want to emphasize tonight, because I'm also the advisor of this Law Student Society, is balance. Balance. You need to be able to balance your studies and your co-curriculum activities, because at the end of the day, who are you if you join all sort of programs, but at the end of the day you did not turn up for class, and so on and so forth. So you must remember what is your main business, your core business. Have fun while studying, but remember what is your core business here at the foundation level. Some point from me.
All right, thank you so much, Sir Ridwan. So my next question would be for our lecturers who are law school graduates, right? So what exactly is CLP? Is it hard? Is it compulsory?
If I am to answer the question, I have no experience of taking CLP because if I'm not mistaken, CLP is only for law graduates who graduated from overseas university, not from Malaysian university. Okay, so I do not have the experience of taking CLP, but if I'm not mistaken, I've seen the content of the subjects that they have to go through kan ada macam like exam. Dia belajar balik lah pasal kita punya land law, our court system, our government system and all that. So maksudnya because you have to take into consideration when we are reading law in Malaysia, like obviously we are discussing about cases in Malaysia, we are discussing about the law system, about the legal system in our country. Okay, so that's why we are not required to take CLP when we are doing our chambering ataupun when we want to be called as an advocate and solicitor. But when you graduate from a law school in overseas universities, you do not know the system in Malaysia. So that's why you have to take CLP. That's the reason behind it. Tapi kalau if you are asking me about the experience or the questions that you have to answer in your CLP test tu, I do not have the experience of taking that test. Maybe Sir Ridwan, you would like to add something?
I think the purpose of what is CLP, first of all, it is a certificate for legal practice. And like Ms. Farhana rightly mentioned, it is for graduates from either overseas university or local non-recognized or non-accredited yet universities. So the very purpose of this CLP is actually to give some kind of exposure to the international graduates from those who read law in the UK, so that they have exposure to Malaysian law, because at the end of the day they want to be called as an advocate and solicitor in Malaysian court. So they need to familiarize themselves with Malaysian law. So if they study in UK, of course, they, like Ms. Fahana said, they will not refer to any laws in Malaysia. That's why they need to learn, study, and pass the exam before they can start their pupillage or chambering.
All right, thank you so much to both lecturers. So my last question would go to Sister Nisa. An audience would like to know, can Sister Nisa please share her tips to excel in Arabic?
Okay. Arabic. Firstly, in Arabic, you have to learn, there's first qawaid, which is in other language, in English, grammar. And then you have mutala. This is easy because it's just like comprehension, penulisan, and pemahaman. So most students, like me personally, I struggle a little bit in qawaid because you know, dalam Arab ni kan dia ada banyak macam hukum lah. So untuk lelaki macam ni, untuk perempuan macam ni. So firstly, all you have to do is you have to have an organized notes. This is what I personally do for each tajuk, because contohnya untuk kata kerja dia ada macam-macam. So you have to, what I do is on a piece of paper, I always make a mind map. So you have to always read lah. And for vocabularies, which some people, including me, also struggles, what my ustad and ustazah from previous school and also in CFS always advise is you don't have any choices, you have to read a lot. And when you read, you have to refer to dictionary. Dictionary must be your best friend, is what my previous ustad always tell me. Now that you study in university, you have your phone, right? So in your phone, you must have a dictionary application so that you can open it every time. So that's what I think. You have to have the effort to read a lot. You don't have to, like if you are, kalau rajin, bolehlah search dekat Google and baca the articles. But personally, I don't do it. So you will get exercise books, right? Dalam tu akan ada banyak petikan. So just baca petikan tu je. And perkataan-perkataan yang awak tak tahu, search in the dictionary. And then slowly you will, insyaAllah, will get better at it. Just have efforts lah, insyaAllah. I think that's it.
All right, thank you so much to Sister Nisa. So that marks the end of our Q&A session. I will now pass the floor to Sister Yasmin.
All right, thank you so much to all the speakers for very nice inputs. So before we end, I would like to ask each speaker to give maybe a few words and tips for the future students of CFS Law. Maybe we can start with Sir Ridwan.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Number one, to SPM leavers out there, if you think you are from science stream, it is not mandatory for you to do science in the university or at pre-university level. So you always have the option to do law. And believe me, like I've mentioned just now, if you have the right attitude, you can be excellent in doing whatever course that is available to you. That is number one. And number two, to be a successful student, it doesn't matter what course you are in, you need to have these two things. I always say this to my students. You need to have passion, you need to have patience. Bunyi macam lebih kurang tapi benda lain-lain kan. You need to have passion, you need to have interest in it, you need to have some kind of likes, you need to have certain kind of feeling to it. Macam if you are not really like to do law, actually kalau you give it some time, awak boleh create minat tu, awak boleh pupuk minat tu. So that's why passion is very important. Why sometimes we face students who are not very excellent with their result, because they actually have no interest in doing law. So the first one is passion, and number two, you need to have patience or kesabaran, because doing law, like your friend said, it is never always rainbows and ponies. Of course, it is a very challenging journey. I'm sure all of you have been scolded before. All of you have been experienced some kind of not very interesting thing or something that you might never experience before in school. But as long as you have passion, you have the right attitude, inshallah, you will survive the legal study. So passion and patience. That's all from me.
Thank you so much, Sri Ridwan. So next I would pass to Miss Farhana.
Okay, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome all SPM leavers who are watching us now. Welcome to our CFS IIUM Law Foundation Program. I hope this session can be an eye-opener for you guys about our Law Foundation Program. It's not like if you read law, you are just going to be a lawyer. It's not like that always. Okay, all the best for your future endeavor, and I hope that you can make a right choice when you fill in your UPU letter. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Farhana. So maybe Brother Akmal, you have any words?
Right, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Kepada semua adik-adik SPM leavers out there, okay, semua adik-adik SPM leavers yang dah baru habis SPM dan sekarang ni tak silap saya tengah tunggu kemas kini untuk UPU dan tengah tunggu juga result SPM mereka. Saya harap apa benda yang kami telah share daripada lecture-lecture daripada kami sendiri sebagai student, gunakanlah input-input ni untuk anda memilih adakah pilihan anda itu untuk ke dalam jurusan tersebut bermakna. Sebab kita tak nak ada law students, kita tak nak ada student ataupun any of you guys yang masuk into that field, masuk apa-apa jurusan sekalipun tapi tak ada passion, you don't like it and you was being forced to continue it. Because ramai je yang memang macam I said before, ramai je yang memang kena paksa masuk law because of parents, dan diorang pun macam rasa macam perlukah aku nak masuk law sebab parents aku suruh tapi aku rasa macam tak minat. No, korang kena pilih bidang yang korang betul-betul minat untuk masuk sesuatu bidang lah. Sebab ini dalam universiti ni kita dah kena start fikir untuk kerjaya kita dah kena start planning, slowly planning for our future. Bukan saja itu yang pertama lah. Yang kedua, nasihat saya kepada adik-adik SPM leavers di luar sana, bukan SPM leavers lah, mungkin kita ada form 4 dan form 5 kat ni, discover more about what you want to know about what field you are taking. Kalau rasa nak tahu lebih dalam lagi tentang law, tentang degree of law, tentang foundation of law, pergi cari banyak sangat website dekat Google, dekat YouTube, banyak aja sharing yang telah ramai orang telah buat tentang apa sebenarnya pembelajaran yang mereka belajar itu sendiri dan apa recommended mereka itu sendiri. Sebab daripada perspektif mereka, kamu akan tahu bahawa itu sesuai ke tidak dengan kamu. Dan yang kedua itu, yang ketiga last sekali, tawakal lah ya. Saya ingin mengucapkan good luck kepada SPM leavers, good luck for your results. Jangan sedih, jangan nangis nangis untuk kebahagiaan je. Jangan nangis sedih. Kita dah tak ada masa nak regret. We must move on to our future. Because saya faham kita pernah nangis sebab sedih, takut result kita tak bagus, tapi janganlah sedih, biarlah nangis sebab kita rasa macam result kita tak cantik, tapi jangan nangis sebab kita salah pilih course. Sebab tu sangat-sangat bahaya ya. Okay, saya pass back to the moderator.
Alright, thank you so much, Brother Akmal. So next, Sister Nisa.
Okay, so a lot has been said, so I just want to say good luck on all SPM leavers, good luck on your results, and nak masuk law ni, macam yang cakap tadi, pastikan ada minat. Jangan dengar apa yang orang cakap if it's negative about law. Practicing law won't make your feet belajar law ataupun kerja dalam bidang law ni takkan buatkan kaki awak sebelah ke neraka. Yang tu kena ingat sebab selalu saya dengar orang cakap. So, kalau awak tahu diri awak mampu ke tak, and belajar law ni, apapun yang dalam kehidupan ni semuanya susah, tak ada apa yang senang. Apa yang kita perlukan hanyalah usaha dan tawakal. So, tahu kemampuan diri awak and choose wisely, and insyaAllah Allah will guide you. Good luck.
Thank you, Sister Nisa. So last but not least, Brother Hashri.
Hey, a little bit from me. Sir Ridwan mentioned two words, which is passionate and also patience. I would like to add three more, which is commitment followed by faith as well as consistency. So when you're passionate in doing something, of course, you need commitment to start. And then when you have patience, you also need consistency to finish. So what I can say to all SPM viewers or everyone watching here today is that you do whatever you think is right and do what you're passionate about. And inshallah, Allah will always help you throughout your whole journey. And I would like to wish all the best and good luck. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much to all our panelists for tonight. So before we end our program, can we have a little photography session? First between the speakers and then with all the committees. All right, I will take the pictures, okay? So 1, 2, 3. All right, so can all the committees turn your cameras on, please? All right. How do you change the gallery? Oh, okay, I got it.
Jumpa kan.
Okay, 1, 2. All right. So with every beginning, there comes an end, and our program tonight has come to its end. Once again, I would like to thank everyone for taking time to attend tonight's event, and your presence has graced our program. And on behalf of the organizing committees, I would like to apologize for any shortcomings throughout the event. We and our duty as the masters of program for tonight's event with wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. And don't forget to fill in the attendance link that has been provided in the comment section. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you all. Assalamualaikum.
Salam.